welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tawanda and I build software applications and websites. So today we're continuing with the source to system. So for those who haven't watched the previous video, like I encountered an error whilst I was doing some configurations for permissions in the reports. I'm not sure if it's reports or invoices module. So I encountered an error and the error actually cleared up everything that was on the screen. Like the settings were no longer displaying if I disabled the permission which was invoices read, that is for viewing all the invoices that have been generated over a past period. Okay, so let me just show you what was actually going on. Okay. Alright, so right now these are the settings. Okay, so if I come in invoices here, okay, let me just come here in settings. Alright, if I come in invoices, if you check this, you can see that I can actually see the table that that is displaying all the invoices, right? So I want to disable that table. I want to remove that permission for this user. So I'm going to come here under the rows. Okay, so I've got two rows here, one for developer and one for the owner of the store. So if I come and click on view, okay, so if I click on view, then let's look for view invoices. View invoices. Okay, there it is. Okay, so if I see that the invoices menu item has been removed from the sidebar, so we actually managed to fix that. But initially, okay, so this was the error that happened yesterday, right? So I was actually surprised by this, that I actually need to cut off the video and go back and debug like what was actually going on. Okay, so this was the error. So if somebody doesn't have because initially it was set up in such a way that for the settings to display, the user has to have the permission for viewing invoices. So what I later on was shown on how to debug this was, if I come here under the settings list, and then if you can see here, okay, sorry, my setup is it's really bad. Okay, but under the settings, for you to display the settings, we want to filter through the domain in which, because I said like the system is supposed to work through a couple of industries like construction, e-commerce, medical, and schools. So it's also going to check which domain this settings we want to display, and then also looks for the permission. So for the permission value here, setting is actually invoices read, which we later on that hasn't been changed. So what we ended up doing is we resorted to just commenting this out, because we might make use of this later, and then we removed this part for permissions, right, for validating permissions first before it can display all the settings that you have. So if I come back here and then I run this, okay, so it's compiling right now, it's done. Let's come to check the browser. Okay, now you can see that all my settings are now being displayed. So for me to just trigger the menu item, so to display it back on the sidebar, what I just have to come and do is assign the permission back on view invoices. There it is, and our invoices are back. So the implementation that I had earlier on mentioned, about WebSockets, so it's now working. Like, I really don't have to go and refresh the page for the permission to work. Now as soon as I trigger it on or off, and then I'll see the changes immediately. So yeah, the bug is fixed. If not, let's just check one more time. So I trigger it off, my menu items change, and if I navigate to another maybe section, let's say reports, and then navigate back to settings, my settings are working. So yeah, that's it. So I'm actually done with permissions for all these menu items, customers, quotations, invoices, expenses, reports. I just finished them today. So right now I actually need to do permissions for the rest of these settings that we have under settings. So after this, so once I'm done with this, that means permissions for the whole application system are now working. So yeah, right now I just want to start with the general settings, check if somebody has got the setting to create the store or make changes to the currently logged in store or business. Right, so yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so that's what I actually want to work on right now. Then I'll show you everything and also the implementation after I'm done with that. I've resorted back to the original code, like for filtering out permissions if you don't have, for filtering out settings which are being displayed if you don't have a permission. So right now the settings that you can view are now being dynamically rendered. Okay, so if you check here, maybe let's say I don't want you to view the currencies permission. If you come under rows, okay, let's look for currencies. So we don't want the user to read the list of currencies, and also let's disable this one, the list of currency rates. Okay, so if I come back here, see, currencies is no longer being displayed. So permissions are now allowing the settings to be dynamically rendered on the page here. So that's another validation done. Now we just want to do permissions for each and every one of these. Let's say maybe you view permissions, you view discounts. We don't want, maybe you are not authorized to create a discount, or maybe view the discount, edit the discount. So that's what I'm going to do right now and work on that. So I actually found out something interesting here. Like, as I was working on the permissions for the payment method, I noticed that, like, on the list of on the settings that are currently being displayed, right, I'm using the same permission to check for the access to payment methods on the settings list, and also for viewing the list of payment methods. Alright, let me just show you. Okay, so we are here, right? And then if I come to settings, like, I have payment methods here, right? And if I click on it, it's supposed to show all the payment methods that I've created, right, for this particular store. So whilst I was working on permissions, what I had done is I had added the same permission to display this table. So maybe somebody might be having permissions to create payment methods, but they don't have permission to view all the payment methods that I've created. So I was actually using the same permission like for viewing this table and also for opening this. So when I wanted to check it out, when I had as I came through here, so payment method, right? I disabled this. So if I disable this now, right, and if I come back to settings, you see the payment method settings are no longer being displayed. So that means I actually don't have to add that permission to view the list of payment methods, like after you have gained access to the payment methods records. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but yeah, actually you have to just add the permission for checking on this settings list only, right? And everything for the payment methods is done. Just need to add permissions like for editing or deleting those permissions. Let me show you. Okay, let's toggle this back on. Payment. Okay, alright. So I just have to add permissions for these buttons only. And if you don't have like permissions for editing these payment method records, then the type should be put to the right here. So the whole table will just be having 3 columns. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so I'm done with the permissions, and right now I'm in permissions. Yeah. Okay, so I want to toggle this off. Update payment method. So if I toggle it off and then we come back here, view our payment methods. Okay, so it has pulled the type header, but it left the data. So let me just see if I can correct that real quick. I think I didn't add the class. For switching from text right alignment to from text left to text right, sorry. So this is the method type here. Supposed to add finding another class here. Okay, so refresh the page. Okay, alright, okay. Alright, that is, so everything is working correctly. Alright, so that's it for this one today. We'll continue with the rest, then I'll show you everything else that's left tomorrow. Alright, cheers guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.